Hello. Joza, Sarah, Tom Piet, Pedro, Pedrolito, Nora, Esper, Tatsukura, Jasco, and, oh, that's everyone. How's it going, people? And yes, I'm not switching the camera back just to show off my new starting screen. I'm glad you guys like it. Hey, Slack Prince. I'm glad you guys like it. I did commission it, Pedrolito. I did. It's actually based off of, for anyone who's played Paper Mario, it's based off of Chapter 7 from Paper Mario, if you played it. And I have variations too. I've got this. I won't show it too long because I want to switch between them from stream to stream, but I have this one. I got a little bit of snow. Oh, we've got to move the alert a little. There we go. I got nighttime, and I've got night with snow. And there's another one coming as well. I'll have one more as well. So yeah, I did commission these. So it's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Tatsukura. I'm glad you like them. I'm glad you guys like them. Very cozy, yeah. I like nighttime. I don't know. I like the nighttime winter vibe a little better than the daytime, but I think the daytime has its own beautiful charm as well. Like, and also it fits better with the streams because I do morning streams. Like the Aurora Borealis in the night is just beautiful, and the stars. Anyway, I got a commission by Pixel Jess. Her trademark's in the corner. Yeah, I did have to commission it. I mean, a world where you can get something like that and not commission it is dystopic for the artists who make that sort of thing. So I was glad to have it commissioned. I saved up some money over Christmas, and yeah, it took 3 or 4 weeks or so. Thank you so much, Tatsukura, for the 5 months. Monday gang indeed. Welcome to the first Great Ace Attorney Wednesday. Thank you very much for the 5 months. Tommy Strong, how's it going? Yeah, I agree, Pedrolito. Someone had mentioned earlier that that I'm moving away from the Xenoblade branding. I don't really plan to, but I wanted my starting screen and Be Right Back screen as well, which is the other commission I've got that I'm waiting for, to be a bit more personal, to give the stream a bit more identity. So yeah, I thought it was time, and I had the money saved up, so that was good. Yeah, the nighttime one's really good. Yeah, absolutely. Always pay your artists. Pay your artists well. Can someone put my sub towards Disco Elysium? Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Anyway, the reason we're here today is because we've got some more Great Ace Attorney. Welcome in again, Monday gang. Glad to have you in. And today we're going to finish this beautiful, wonderful case with this beautiful, wonderful man just waiting for us. The Knight Errant himself. The goal today is to finish case 3. I don't know how long it'll take. No clue, but that's what I want to do. I'm going to stream until I finish it, for sure. And also, we want the top 100 streams. True. Very true. Xenoblade 3, Great Ace Attorney, those are the only two holding it up. And I'm going to finish Xenoblade 3 very soon. Sulfiner, how's it going? Okay, let's do it. The Knight Errant himself. Oops. Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Shomes? I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs, as a spectator at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. The boy? I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? Okay. I was told, in the last stream that this is a very hard case. It's been pretty hard so far, but I've been able to get through it mostly unscathed. Not sure if my brain will be in shape for it this time around, but I'll do my best. He doesn't even look like any professor I've seen before. Who is he? Thank you, Sarah. Of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago. Yes, the professor. AJ's logic and reasoning spectacular. Excuse me. Hey, Sardinias. Hey, MK. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, Monday gang. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies. Hey, Garrett. I'm doing very well. Hope the same for you. Welcome in, guys. Good morning, /afternoon/evening. As it turns out, Lord Van Zieks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he? Oh, and the next witness coming in is Madame Tispels, I think? Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock. And now a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. I want to be intimately tied with Van Zieks too, based. Absolutely, Ramuki. I'm really interested to see the type of demeanor she'll have on the stand. If it'll be very similar, or if we see a new side to her. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man. You make it sound deliberate. So, Clint. Let's not talk about you. Like, Ryu's trying to put it off and make it seem like he's not tactless. He's tactless, but we love him for it. I can't help feeling that this professor case is really very puzzling. Oh, yes. You know what? I'm going to make that a quote, and only the Monday gang will understand it. I can't get over how stupid he was in saying that. So, Clint. Hey, Citrica. How are you? There's Mr. Drebber, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zieks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow. Yes. In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. Though that leaves me as an empty set, all alone with no intersection to any other. Oh, me too, Sarah. Me too. Excuse me? Dr. Scythe. Hey, Hugs. How's it going, Hugs? Glad to hear it, Citrica. Hope you had a good day at work. She's back, and we have implicated her. Ah, Dr. Courtney Scythe, née Stevens. Good day to you. Will of D. Hello, Sholmes. That was very shrewd of you. What in particular, pray? You requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? Why would you assume such a thing? Sholmes is being very... a little more serious, because Gregson told me. I mean, it's very understandable that he'd be serious, but there are other circumstances similar to this where he has been non-serious, so worth pointing out. I finished Drum Island. I hope you enjoyed it, Hugs. Drum Island is to this day one of the better One Piece arcs for me. To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory wielding my scalpel. I smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant. A policeman on the jury had a lot to say about you as it happens, Dr. Scythe. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. That certainly won't be possible. Lord Van Zieks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. They have some sort of collusion going on. Lord Strongheart. Awesome, Hugs. That's great. Great to hear it. The Pandora's box you were warned about is the professor case. But please... Okay. Please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me. Morning, antagonist. Welcome in. But attempting to hide from the truth, that's cowardice. Oh, whoops. I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I have no regrets, none at all. I have good feelings about Scythe as a character. I have a feeling I'm gonna really like where her character goes. No regrets. And that's all I came here to say. Welcome in, Hailing. We have Wednesday Great Ace Attorney streams until we finish the game. Double the Great Ace Attorney per week. That's all I came here to say. Oh, speaking of reading manga, I finished Farmland in the manga, and wow, what an easy 10 out of 10. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Sarah. Farmland is amazing. I adore it. It's one of my favorite arcs. Full stop. It's so good. So glad you enjoyed it. And now, you know everything that's coming. Well, they're going to alter some things in the anime, I'm sure. But, now you know the full context of it as you go through the anime. Oh, it's so cool. Welcome in, Offie. Welcome in, Offie. So for everyone who didn't come in right at the start, let me quickly show you the new starting soon screen. Just a quick glimpse, cause don't wanna belabor it, but really quick. Boom, and we're back. Okay. Oh, well, I hope everything's okay, Hailing. I hope everything's okay. But nonetheless, yeah, I hope you enjoy this stream. Peak. Is she Slytherin? She is Slytherin coded, I think. We'll see. Thanks, guys. You're gonna have to wait for the next stream, Offie, or just check the beginning of this VOD. Cool, glad to hear it, Hailing. And that's all I came here to say. She can Slytherin never... Oh. Alright. Alright, Sarah. It's fine, Offie, here. This is what I was showing them. This is one of the new starting screens. I have variations of this, which I showed off at the beginning of the stream. And I'll use at the beginning of future streams. Good day to you. It's a very comfy starting screen. I really like how it turned out. She mentioned it too, this Pandora's box. It looks just like Undertale. Thank you, Offie. What does it all mean? There's really no cause for concern. I assure you, when the trial resumes, the meaning will become all too apparent whether you'd like it to or not. This is so epic. What is going on, huh? Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. The edge of my seat awaits. I think maybe you're enjoying yourself a little too much. Today's the day I experience true fiction. I cannot wait. One word of warning before I go. If in the course of the trial this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Ominous. Alright, I understand. Thank you. Good, I shall make myself scarce then. Who the hell is this Pandora and what's up with her box? I purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away at the truth. Alright, weirdo. How's it going, Riley? Yeah, I see the Celeste for sure antagonist. Someone also mentioned Stardew Valley earlier. Yeah, so it's very reminiscent of all of that. Ryu was like, okay, you weird B-word, can you speak normally to me next time? What did that warning from Mr. Sholmes really mean, I wonder? Especially the bit about whatever may come to pass. Don't worry, there's no cause for concern. Now let me be as ominous as possible before leaving. Classic Sholmes, it really is. It's time for the final chapter then. Holy shit. I'm determined to find the truth, no matter what. It does, doesn't it, Citrica? That can be applied to basically, like, 99% of what Shom says. That friggin' waxwork. I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Are you ready and able to continue? The prosecution is ready, my lord. Oh, I can't wait for when Kazuma reveals himself and remembers things. You do, Tatsukura. Oh, I hope you enjoyed them, Afi. Yes, my lord, the defense is also ready. Sure, Ramuki. If someone just tags me in the idea, then yeah. As the court is aware, the case under our scrutiny began with a damaging incident at the Great Exhibition, yet we now find ourselves embroiled in the details of a convicted felon who was sent to the gallows a decade ago. Hello, Bayanort. Thank you for the 7-month resub. I really appreciate it. I especially on streams where I know you aren't the target demographic. Thank you very much. Celeste is great. I hope you enjoy it whenever you play it. Here's to more disco stream funding? Perfect. Thank you. Oh yeah, Afi. I literally didn't think it was real at first. This trial has certainly defied all expectation, as seems to be the fate of all trials in which this Nipponese is involved, my lord. So then, let us begin our exploration of the defense's assertion that the waxwork was cardinally involved in this matter. Lord Van Zeeks? Yeah, because I can't really go in there, Ramuki. My lord, you can just put it in general and tag me, or even just DM it to me, or whatever's most logical, I guess. My lord? Are we still awaiting the arrival of Madame Tuspels? Not at all. She is in the antechamber as we speak and ready to be summoned. Very well, bring in the witness. At once. Bailiff, show Madame Tuspels to the stand. Things are about to become a lot more intense. Oh shit. If Drebber is responsible, as I'm sure he is, it means he must have an accomplice in Dr. Scythe. And what connects the pair of them is the waxwork. Yes, the model of the professor. That's the key to the link between these otherwise unrelated individuals. It's a tenuous link, admittedly, but at present, it's all we have to go on. Yeah, the directing? Tom Piet. Case 3, the directing... Oh. Is that not Shomes? Was that not Shomes? Was that not a model of Shomes she was just working on there? Sorry, what I was saying is, Case 3, the directing and camera work in Case 3 has been quite dynamic. A quick update of what happened last stream. We further investigated the nature of what was going on. We found out that there's a big connection between Dr. Scythe, whose name is also used to be Dr. Stevens, and the murder of Van Zeeks' and this case because of this waxwork, which connects her to what's his name? Enoch Drebber, who witnessed the resurrection of this body in zombie form years ago. I think it was 10 years ago, of the professor, and the professor killed Van Zeeks' brother. And Kazuma's next to Van Zeeks, but he has amnesia. And Shomes keeps being ominous about some Pandora's box. I'm sorry, that was so scattered, but hopefully it helped a little. How's it going, Jamun? How's it going, Andres? State your name and occupation for the court. Thank you, MK. What? Okay, that's Shomes. That's 100% Shomes. My name is Madame Esmeralda Tuspels. I'm a waxwork artisan, and the proprietress of Madame Tuspels' Museum of Waxwork. You will have to pardon me for working as I testify. My new exhibit must open very soon. Hold on. Mommy? I mean, ma'am? Yeah, Kazuma's just biding his time, being an Asti and being a Sith. Oh, so he finally gets a statue, does he? Could you go away? Notification? Now there are 2 of them in the world. The deduction did happen, Hailing, where we discovered him in the safe. Oh my, what expression is she carving into that face? A number of days ago, a particular waxwork model was stolen from your museum. Can you confirm this? Oui, that is true. At first, we believed it had been kidnapped. A waxwork model kidnapped? Yes, my lord, there was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. However, according to what I had been told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. I understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim? At present, that is no more than conjecture proposed by the defense. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Odie Osman. But of course I know him well. He is part of my odious personages exhibit. I detest to say what is evident, but Mr. Osman does not resemble the professor at all. Yes, but perhaps their faces are similar. Are you suggesting that we should now see the damasked visage of the professor? I have here the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open the lock. Great, Sprite. This is absurd. Pardon? I don't know what face you've carved onto your fancy figure beneath that mask, but clearly it won't be that of the actual killer. Indeed. The man's identity was never made public, after all. The trial took place in a closed court. The proceedings were strictly confidential. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret. There was no possible way that a repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hands on that information. I love Van Zieks. Why is he so captivating? It's because he's so cheesy and dramatic and vampiric, and just his personality is really engaging in that way, but also, and his dynamic in the courtroom as well, with Ryu. But also the nature of the mystery behind the Reaper of the Bailey, his past, his brother. He is hiding something, and his disdain for Japanese people. He's hiding something very, very deep within. And I'm really interested in what it is.
Oh boy.
Peak music. Thank you, Bayanor, for the 100 bits. Let me just get my alerts open so I can read that. It would seem you're unaware of the Dispel's principles. I like the way he prosecutes as well, NG. He isn't biased in the way, and he doesn't have an ego in the way that Edgeworth did, for example, in certain ways, or Von Karma even. Thank you for the 100 bits, Baynor. I'm gonna leave the stream to finish episode 6 of Umineko. Cool. Did you first make the top 100 list in 2021, then updated them and discussed them on stream? Because the legend says plus sign is a new entry. Oh no, the plus sign isn't a new entry, Baynor. It says that it has upward momentum. The plus sign isn't a new entry. Let me make sure. It shouldn't say that. Hold on. No, yeah, that isn't what the legend says. It just means it has upward momentum, that's all. Alright. It would seem you're unaware of the Dispel's principles. What principles? The family Dispels has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned with complete fidelity. Et voilà our principles. There is a well-known legend about the Dispel's waxwork from the time of the French Revolution. So to answer your question, Baynord, I did not, I made that in the beginning of 2022. Perfect, Josa, perfect. Time for peak. A member of the Dispel's family is said to have made a waxwork of the queen who was executed. Wait, that is true. It was a century ago now. I believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death, actually at the guillotine site. Holy shit. You're correct. The model is on display today in the House of Horrors. That is grotesque. We Dispels will stop at nothing to obtain a faithful replica of our subjects. Ooh, that's a little creepy. Sounds good, Baynort. Enjoy Chapter 6. Dear me, a somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose. It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject, and it has been my family's secret. It has been my family's secret for generations. Do you mean to say that beneath that mask, oui, the true visage of the killer is there? Oh my god. That's wild. This is ludicrous. It's out of the question. The professor spread terror throughout Great Britain. As a result, the Madame Dispel's special exhibit remains extremely popular even today. The killer emerging from his own grave. It is a sight to behold. You should come. I think, Madame, it would be beneficial to hear your formal testimony on this matter. Ultimate Goth Girl. Persona 5? I can't believe Persona 5 invented the professor. Yeah, literal confidential information with this wax museum. You will explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in its creation. Yeah, free advertising too. She's really hamming it up, for sure. Okay. The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with the Dispel's family principles. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the internment. Oh my god. I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. Okay. That's a little fishy. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered. The gravedigger! The man sanctioned this. Oui. I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family celebrated for. Oh, me too, MK. I like seeing him rattled. Nobody else knew, only the gravedigger. What harm did it do, huh? So you truly saw it. The face of that monster. Naturally, I was aware at the time that its identity was a secret, but the Dispels would not be the Dispels if we did not insist on absolute fidelity to our sculptures. I don't believe this. I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madam. A truly blood-curdling scene in which the murderer is emerging from his own grave. The scene it depicts was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago. I have here a newspaper from the time. Ooh. The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article. It was the most detailed account of what happened, as reported by the eyewitness who saw it. Okay. Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words. The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur. That is true. That was an amazing illustration. That is why I've reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum. And it's a waxwork from that exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it? That is correct. The professor you see before you here. Most puzzling. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. This waxwork links to Drebber to Dr. Scythe, and there has to be some reason for that which hasn't yet come to light. But I'll find it. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened. I'll prove that Dr. Scythe and Drebber were in on this crime together. Okay. Okay, there were a couple of statements I remember tilting my head at. Maybe this, not really. So the gravedigger could be an important figure in the case. And then this, I was there for a long time. That's very ominous. Like, what is the deal? It could just be very straightforward, but let's press it. Let's press it regardless. You were there longer than you expected to be. I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open, and I had some problems with the chin. Dare I ask? The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. She is scary. Madame Dispels, holy shit. His muscles were relaxing and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly. Oh dear, what a horrible thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone, and as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time. What do you mean? When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I am suddenly scared for Sholmes. I always wait until 3 hours after death. Yeah, this case got very dark very fast. The dedication's respectable? True. She's on her grind set. She's in her 20s right now, so she was a teenager when she did this. Yeah. She's 26, right? Oh my god, that's insane. Based, Backzack. Very based. Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant? It is because of rigor mortis. Wriggly mortis. Of course, Susato knows. It's a name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies, where they seize up, right? 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen, yeah. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid. And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state. The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered. Well, that was an education, a slightly scary one. Rigor mortis? As the Mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death and it starts in the jaw. I see. So that's why you wait. Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it's very difficult to do my work. It's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder about that information the courts just heard about from Madame Dispels. Yeah, it's significant. Why not? The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us, would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant. Of course, I do not mind at all. Yeah, these sprites are very menacing now, Ramuki. Like, you could see a demonic face underneath this one. And I love it. I can't help but feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave. She's so cute. This is no time for jokes, Miss Susato. That is fun. That is fun, Joe. Very fun. Yeah, no importance whatsoever. Madame, kindly amend your testimony as discussed. Bien sûr. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Usually amended statements require evidence or pressing or contradictions, but this isn't really that interesting. Okay, so I was looking at this one. The gravedigger could be important. I think we're done here. I could be discovered. Let's check the gravedigger one. Surely that's illegal, isn't it? It would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed. It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That's why I had to sculpt him, to record this history. That's really cool. That's really cool. I love that dedication to this preservation of history. It is the raison d'etre of the Tuspels Museum. But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity. I assure you, behind that mask is hidden the true face of the professor. Do you realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret. I understand. And now now that the truth about the special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close. Of course it will, as will your entire museum if you don't tread very carefully, madam. God damn, Van Zieks. Me too, Esper. Me too. It's really good. That could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think, don't you? 10 years ago on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse. Yes, Ryu. She did. Okay. This one?
Hold it!
He is Kingslayer. He is very scared. I love Van Zieks, but he's definitely getting girl bossed. Oh, he's getting girl bossed so hard. You say that dawn was approaching. What was the time of day then, approximately? Well, I could not say. But when I left the cemetery with my utensils and wax, the morning light was becoming visible. The execution took place on 17th of June, which had the earliest sunrise that year. Whoa. How does he remember that? Indeed it did. How do you guys know that? From ages ago. First light would have been around 4:40 in the morning. That really is early. I had very little time, so I finished my work in a half hour. It was necessary to complete this impression and bury the body before daybreak, of course. If somebody had discovered me there, it would have been a catastrophe, so I had to hurry. Is it me, or does Mr. Sholmes seem to be taking shape more quickly now, too? You certainly appear to go to extraordinary lengths for your work, madam. I wonder, is what she just said particularly significant? I think everything she says is significant. Like, those details about how long it took you to complete the sculpture in the early sunrise. I don't know how, but it sounds significant. Could you include them in your testimony? Of course, if you would like me to. What is she doing? Sholmes! Yeah, I guess so, Backsack. A cultural thing? You're quite right, Mr. Naruhodo. It is intriguing. A sunrise at 4 in the morning would be absolutely unimaginable at home, wouldn't it? That's okay, Josie. You can ask Madman questions, without points. I don't mind. That's not quite what I meant by significant. Yeah, most likely, Kingslayer. Kindly amend your formal testimony then, madam. With pleasure, my lord. Okay. I hurried to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise, then I left as soon as the corpse was interred. Okay, so we have a time frame. Okay. Okay, so these two kind of intersect with each other. Where's the... Yeah, this one. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight. Okay. So he died at midnight. I don't think that adds up. Yeah, this doesn't add up. Oh, okay, here we go. So she was doing it before the onset of rigor mortis. That's before 3 hours. So it had to be before 3 a.m. She said it took her half an hour, which means... Oh, wait, hold on. No, there might not be a contradiction. Am I just confusing myself? I hurried to finish... Okay, yeah, this is a contradiction. The half hour before sunrise. That doesn't add up. But which one do I contradict? This one or this one? The math doesn't add up because the onset of rigor mortis was 3 a.m. but the sunrise was 4:40. So she's saying that she was doing it at around 4:10. So it was not before the onset of rigor mortis. Or she was lying about the sunrise. But I think she's more likely to lie. Thank you for the follow, Luna Bear. I think she's more likely. And hello, NL. Yeah, if you have the slightest bit of doubt, pursue the truth. Right. I think she's more likely to lie about the rigor mortis. I think she's more likely to lie about this than the sunset. Like, this feels pretty arbitrary. It's really significant because of being able to corroborate certain other things, but it's arbitrary with regards to her being culpable of something. So let's try this one.
Objection.
Madame Dispels. Hey Trayla. We're well into the horrifying darkness of Madame Dispels' family business. She has turned from a very cool, very awesome, funny, fun wax museum curator into a little bit of a dark presence. Demonic, even. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows. And that is a problem? Or is that a problem? Oh, she's still very cool. Absolutely Eusebius. I believe it is, because your testimony and a particular detail in the report completely contradict one another. Yeah, whenever there is details of time, you gotta look into that. And she's contradicting herself. Are you going to explain yourself, my Nipponese friend? Absolutely, Josa. Also, I don't know if you caught what I said, but you can ask Madman questions if you want. According to her testimony, Madame Dispels was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, Madame? You are, yes. As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis, 2 to 3 hours after death. Yeah. But the man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time. So either she's lying about that, or Scythe was lying in the coroner's report. If you look at Dr. Scythe's report, it quite clearly states the following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th June. I don't think... Van Zeeks? No. Patchface, how's it going? If the professor indeed died at midnight that day... okay, Josa, sounds perfect. Then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would already have set in. Wait, yes, you're right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff. In other words, this report is... Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah, the report is wrong. It's not she's lying, the report is wrong.
Objection!
Talk to me. Talk to me. No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd. In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time. Impossible! Order! Counsel, this is beyond folly. Maybe her clock was slow? Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of the staff at Barclay Prison where the execution took place. By heck! Extraordinary! Not in my day! Holy shit. My learned friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact. What fact? The professor died that night, without question. He did. Of course he did. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands. There was no... Yes, the professor died that night. But what if he didn't die at the gallows? Didn't die at... Are you insane? What? What exactly are you suggesting did happen in that case? It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and that one other person of interest. Yeah, update that autopsy report. Update it right now. Okay, this isn't, Whoa. How did I not notice Asman's signature on the art before? Okay. Something's cooking. I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night. Exactly, Tatsukura, I guess. Present the evidence at once. The evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution. Oh god, okay. So it's process of elimination, as always. It's not the armband. Although that'll come in handy later when I present it to Kazuma and heal his amnesia. No, this has nothing to do with it. These all have nothing to do with it. Oh, this is getting corrupt. This is crazy. Soap! Charles Darwin? Oh, I gotta read that again. Okay, these are all... Yeah, these are all irrelevant. Everything here is irrelevant. Now, this is where we start getting relevant. But I don't think this has anything for us as long as we can't unlock it. So what really happened? Okay. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think they're covering up something. They're covering up... And I think Asman might have died as a result of that. The newly interred professor forced off his grave cover as he clawed free of the earth. Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal. Hey, Spirit Noodle. I don't know what happened, but I think this is the answer. What really happened? They're covering up some shady shit. And Osman's involved.
Take that!
Oh, should I have read it more closely? The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. The youth... Oh! Oh god, he wasn't dead! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no, he wasn't dead! They buried him, he wasn't dead, he resurrected, he killed him then! Oh god. Oh god, oh no. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh. Executed criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery. Yeah, Van Zieks is not going to take that well at all. You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now? Well, if the article is to be believed, yes. The professor, assumed dead following his execution, emerged from his grave and was killed again.
Objection!
Don't be a fool, that's simply a rumor published by the gutter press. Can you be certain of that? Are you serious? The point is, as the article says, there was a witness to what happened. And you thought it was getting dark before. Yeah, oh my god. The world shivers when AJ starts to read the evidence. As the young man who stole into the cemetery by chance that night. Imagine using a tabloid as proof in court. Poor Van Zieks. Van Zieks really be like fake news. He really... I mean, he's fair to think so. Yeah, he's fair to say that, if he would like. How's it going, Oratorio? First Shakespeare and now this? Right? Oh my god.
Objection!
Of course there was a witness. The story didn't write itself, but obviously the man made it all up. There you go. There you go. If court was anywhere as fun as this, I wouldn't have dropped out from law school. Amen to that. In any case, this was 10 years ago, so there would surely be no hope of finding him. On the contrary, my lord, we all know this witness well. Yeah. Yeah, we do. What? Are you suggesting, counsel, that you've identified the person in question? That you know who claims to have seen these utterly incredible events take place? Yes. This would have traumatized him even more. In fact, you could say he's right here before my very eyes. The newspaper's appropriately called the Daily Circus. Very appropriate. You will substantiate your latest claim now then, counsel? Who is the alleged witness of this staggering scene from the cemetery 10 years ago? This is the easiest thing in the case. Unless I'm just being really, really dumb. Incoming clown AJ.
Take that!
The man in question is Mr. Enoch Drebber. Oh, I think so, Backzack. Even the least insane Ace Attorney case is unbelievable. Drebber? Me too, Nora. Me too. The previous witness? The special exhibit in the House of Horrors at Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxwork recreates that decade-old scene in great detail. So yeah, the condemned criminal emerging from the grave and beside the tomb, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight. And that young man is a 10-year younger Mr. Enoch Drebber. Ah, it's German boy. Surely not, counsel. Drebber was there, in Lowgate Cemetery. What is all this talk about Mr. Drebber? Is the name significant? Of course, Madame Tussauds doesn't know, does she? Yes, it's extremely significant, madam. To your situation as well. What situation? The theft of the Professor Waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetrated by the very same man. No, but that would mean... Madame Tussauds, it would appear that you know the name Enoch Drebber. Oui? Yes, I know it. But from long ago in the past. What? Oh my, good gracious. Explain yourself, tell us everything you know. Yes, of course. The story of the young man and that terrible sight he witnessed in the cemetery 10 years ago was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain. However, in all of the articles, the witness was simply described as a certain young man. No details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed. Apart from in one newspaper. I love this song. I love it. It's the mournful strings coming in. The Daily Circus. It's the paper from which the article I've already from which comes the article I've already been shown in court, or shown the court. You're saying that his full name was only publicized in that article? Goodness me, yes, here it is. Right here. Oh, it's so sad. The strings are weeping. So it was Enoch Drebber. When I read the article, I went to meet with the man. Oh, I'm ready, Offie. His discovery of the condemned criminal coming back to life in the cemetery in the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit for my House of Horrors, whether it was the truth or not. She was hustling at 16. This is crazy. I see, so you went to meet Mr. Drebber in order to sculpt a waxwork of the man? Exactement. He was studying science at the University of London. He was just a poor student. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork, and since that time it's been in my museum to recreate the scene of terror from the cemetery. Hmm. How broken? Hmm. The To Spell grind set. So, 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he'd witnessed. A criminal who'd been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. 10 years later, wow, that could have had such an effect on his mentality. Wow. The same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today, even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim and its face is obscured by a mask. So the question is, why would the man do such a thing? Which brings us to 3 days ago, when the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage in fact contained not the body of Mr. Osmond, but the same artwork, or waxwork, the coroner from the Scotland Yard who investigated Dr. Scythe would have noticed immediately. Yeah. And yet she submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Why? Because the waxwork was that of the professor, is that what you're saying? Dr. Scythe put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drebber. But that misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner would do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Mr. Drebber used that particular waxwork as the body double. Right, okay. Right, okay. Poor Van Zieks. He's in so much pain. This court must summon Dr. Scythe to the stand. The defense is determined to find out exactly how the coroner and Mr. Drebber are connected. But according to the missive I received this morning from the prosecutor's office, Dr. Scythe is unable to participate in these proceedings. Is that not the case? She told us so herself, didn't she? Yeah. Lord Strongheart forbid it. Something happened on the night of that killer's execution 10 years ago. And surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zieks. The prosecution calls for the instructions in that missive to be scrapped. Hell yes! My goat! My king! But Lord Van Zieks, the missive was issued from the Lord Chief Justice Office. Sorry, Strongheart. R.I.P. Bozo.
Objection!
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me. Oh, he's so cool. Yes. Let Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe both take the stand together. Oh, he's so cool. Why is he the best? Welcome in, Briggs. Welcome in, Briggs. Very well. I will uphold your request. Yeah, Ryu standing. Ryu literally went, yes! My king. Bailiff, send a subpoena with immediate effect addressed to Dr. Scythe of the Forensic Investigation Team. The woman's compelled to attend on Her Majesty's orders. All right then. Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe. If they weren't colluding with one another, this crime could never have been committed. I'm just a stone's throw away. I can feel it. The truth behind all of this is about to come out. Oh, 3 peak character designs in a row. Unbelievable. Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe. I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van Zieks. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office. Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth isn't compromised. So many hot people on screen, I might faint, or I feel faint. I'm right there with you. And Van Zieks? And Cosima? If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntles, I will pursue the matter to the very end, the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt. Yeah, I remember in the Ace Attorney trilogy, we had a stand of, like, Godot, Mia, Edgeworth. We had a gorgeous stand. This might rival it. Why has Van D's got an assy? Why indeed? I hope we go back to it. Hannah, that's exactly what I said when I first saw the mask. That he's an Asian. That's exactly what I said. Mr. Drebber, you took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. Also, hello, Hannah. Hello. What is up? Great minds. Is that Sholmes' head? Yes, it is. It is. The animation on his hand is so cool. And also, Drebber is a bit more sad than I thought previous to this. Sad of a character. And Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense... It's really cool, Hugs, that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime. And where's your evidence? At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue. What are you talking about? I'm talking, of course, about the waxwork. This model of the killer known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago. You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes and officially pronounced him dead. Good morning, Soul Samurai. Another member of the Monsday crew. Welcome in, Soul Samurai. Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday. That remains to be seen. Is that so? According to the newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life. Don't waste my time. And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drebber, wasn't it? If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction, but reality, it would make you privy to the very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound it would compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme. In fact... Mr. Drebber, tell the court. Great Ace? More like Great Gay. The gay dynamics in Great Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney in general, but particularly great. It's all gay. Tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night in Lowgate Cemetery. So he was the student who saw it. You can see the resemblance, actually, can't you, with the man in Madame Tussauds? Surely he's not going to claim that's really what he saw, especially not after all these years. He was a research student at the University of London, and a bit too clever for his own good, if you ask me. Oh, God. What an interesting twist. When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Oh, my God. Oh, he's such... Oh, I see what's going on here. Yet now here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters, and in a court of law, too. Very well, then. If everyone so wishes. Let's be frank. I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth. I'm dropping the robotic voice because... I think... There's enough of a dark, emotional tinge to the character now for that to be out of place, you know? So, Mr. Drebber, your testimony, please. Oh, I love that Eastern flair in the song there. But it was so good? Okay, I can keep it. But if it gets even more emotional, then I gotta drop it. You will tell the court exactly what you stumbled upon in Lowgate Cemetery. Okay, here we... I'll keep it for now. I'll keep it for now. Yes, of course, as you wish. The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realized that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article. Okay, there are a couple of things in there. Yeah, Ryu. Ryu is me. Wait a minute. You're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now. Of course, of course. You'd have to have a screw loose if you believed a corpse would come back from the dead. This song is so good. Oh my god. So you're saying this article is... I need to make a list of songs that I have to download after this. So I have... Hold on. Enoch's theme, to Spell's theme, Scythe's theme, the Professor theme. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Not worth the paper it's printed on. I think that would describe it perfectly. Yes, the whole OST. True, true. If the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies your argument for why Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together. It is flimsy. It's pretty flimsy. So he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument. I will, Tompiet, thank you. I might get a friend or someone to send it to me. That's so cool. He's discrediting himself to cripple my argument, which is an exact inverse of Hairbrain earlier, right? Completely unwilling to discredit himself, whereas he's willing to completely discredit himself here. Tell me, witness. You claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate? Really, Offie? I'm an even bigger member of the Offie fan club, then. That's right, grave robbing, to be precise. Oh. As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Grave robbing, you say? Yes. Exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. What? Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead. Oh, he draws a line there. So you were one of the so-called resurrectionists, a particularly unpleasant scourge on society. Actually, my fellows and I went by another name, the Repurposers. The Cult of Offie. Sorry, Offie. Sorry. In my Offie fanboyism, I forgot the name. That is beyond the pale. You would invite divine retribution, sir. Yes, well, I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add. Very much, Nora. The tone just completely shifted. I see. Out of interest, who drew the illustration for this article? Asmon! Ah yes, that was the reporter who exposed me. Oh my god. Oh shit. He was the reporter who oh man, there's the motive. There's the motive. He sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene. Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done. Claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish, very foolish. Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with a cross-examination. Where do I start? At once, my lord. Can you just put all that in your statement? One could say that, Kingslayer. One could say that. Okay. Okay, so he explained that. That was what I was curious about. Okay, I'm most curious about this and this. You never saw the professor at all. Afterwards, I was visited by a young woman. He's lying, obviously. He's discrediting himself, like Ryu said. But where do we get to... How do we get to that lie? There's a lie somewhere here. Right here. It was in reference to this. I never actually saw the professor. I think he did. And I think we have enough proof for why, but we might need to press both of these. Because if she sculpted him from wax, was it at the same time that she sculpted the body? Like, because was the body there while she sculpted him? She had to wait for rigor mortis to... Or sorry, before rigor mortis. Let's press these two. Let's press the fourth one and the third one.
Hold it!
Hey, Trish. How's it going, Trish? Oh, Offie, the Chainsaw Man chapter was amazing. I adored it. The contrast between Asa and Yoru is beautiful. In that one scene, you know, the trademark scene of the chapter. I'm not gonna do that, and then Yoru just does it. Trish, you missed my beautiful new starting screen. I'll show it in a second. I'll show the variations in the future. That young woman being Madame Dispels, of course. Precisely, I must say. Oh, Sarah showed it? Okay, cool. Yeah, that was a peak page turn, Offie. I loved it. I can't wait for the next chapter. Me neither. It was so good. It was really good. Thank you, Soul Samurai, for gifting a sub to Hugs. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, Soul Samurai. Does that go to Breath of the Wild as usual, or something else? There's a new goal there, by the way. I forgot to mention. For Attack on Titan episode discussion streams. Those were always a plan, but I just want to gauge and make sure that people are still down for that. So that's just a goal for the next month and a bit. Sounds good, Soul Samurai. I haven't seen the variations, but it's so cute. Cool, cool. Glad you like it. Precisely. I must say I didn't expect to run into her again like this 10 years later. As I have explained, I went by the name published in the article, and comme ça, I found the man. Yes, the article in the Daily Circus, you said. Oh. Sorry. I was a poor student with barely a penny to my name at the time. Sorry, I dropped the voice for a sec. And the young lady put 5 pounds in front of me. So you readily consented to having a waxwork of yourself made and gave permission for it to be put on display. I did. I should sell what little I had to sell, I concluded. What a sad... Man, what an extremely sad series of events for him. I remember now. I purchased something else from you that day, n'est-ce pas? I enjoy it as well, Maxern. I'm glad you're liking it. It's very different from part 1, but it's still it's still very much Chainsaw Man. And it doesn't feel inconsistent. It's just a different dimension. And what it does for Denji's character is really great, and Asa is amazing. Asa's great. I can't say I remember. Welcome in, Weaver. Welcome in. Welcome into Great Ace Attorney Mondays. What was it, madame? His camera. Yoru's great. Yoru's great as well. Ah. Yes, I made a point of taking it with me whenever I made an excursion into any cemetery. Don't make it Monday again. Don't make it Monday again? We didn't change the day. We added a day. It isn't changing. it's being added to. Monday never shifted from Great Ace Attorney. You took a camera with you, sir? To what end? Like I said, every week now has double the Great Ace Attorney until we're done. To record the details of the body I disinterred. Oh, no, I said Monday. Oh, okay, I got you, Weaver. I said Monday. That's what MK said, and that's what I've been dubbing it now. Monday is a mix of Wednesday and Monday. I totally agree, Offie. It's crazy. Asa might be one of the best written female characters in manga, and I am not joking. I wouldn't make that claim yet. But, I'm super invested. I think she's awesome. And I'm really interested to see how... I love how his idol animations are just going in the back. To see how she progresses. Because she could end up being one of a favorite protagonist of mine. Pretty quickly. As long as it just keeps going along this direction. I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it. I see. But I still have it, monsieur. It is part of the special exhibit in my House of Horrors. I am very meticulous about such details. It is the Dispel's way. It would seem, then, that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Lowgate Cemetery on the night in question. Yeah, interesting. Okay. True, Jamon. That is the sad thing about it. Then I gave a... Okay. Right. So we updated the update here was... That's the actual camera he had with him. Maintaining the authenticity of the Dispel's way. So, where's the contradiction? I did say I would press both of them.
Hold it!
Wait, hold on, actually. What are you talking about? I explained already, didn't I? Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night, and as a result, only too willing to believe that nonsense about the dead coming back to life. But you said you saw it. I said what I had seen in my mind's eye. Oh, stop bullshitting, sir. Stop bullshitting. After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise. Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves that I encountered the professor. Okay. This guy's challenging me. I don't know. Is there any material evidence that could show he really did see the professor? If we have anything at all, Mr. Naruhodo, I know. I need to present it against that irritatingly backtracking statement of his. The point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life. Okay. I think that was a hint that we have proof. You never saw him. Okay, let's see. You never saw him. But this camera could be relevant. It was the actual one used. If only we had the print. The photographic evidence from this camera. If only we had it. Thank you, Nora. But we don't have that, so we gotta work on something else. The autopsy, I don't think that's it. Wait, let me see. Knowing that Osmond, he probably had that motive for Osmond, that makes that that agreement very, very fishy. A newspaper article recounting the tale of an eyewitness to the alleged resurrection. Okay. I mean, this article disproves him, but the problem is, like, I think we're leaning too much on the article. It is, they just said an article can be complete hogwash, and we keep leaning on it. So I don't know if that's the answer. I would kill to watch AJ stream Apollo Justice, I guess that is. Hey, Accordion Heart. Welcome in. Lovely to see you in here again. I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. It's baffling how quickly you notice his signature. Yeah, the second time round, I got it. Okay, so I think this is the contradiction, but we're leaning too much on the article, so we're gonna have to get away from that. Or maybe this is just wrong. I think AJ would love Apollo Justice. Or sorry, would really like the Apollo Justice cast. Cool. I mean, listen, all they have to do is port it over to Steam, and you already know it'll be a stream goal. You already know. Okay, so let's try this.
Objection.
I'm really surprised that we're able to lean on this article so much. Sorry, Mr. Dripper, but I don't believe that. Apollo has my favorite protagonist? Cool. Ace Attorney good? Big news if true. Is my favorite cast along with the Great Ace Attorney? That's awesome. If it's comparable to the Great Ace Attorney cast, then I guarantee I'll really like it, yeah. Don't believe what? Your latest claim. You did see the professor on that night 10 years ago. Oh dear, we seem to be at odds, but I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see. Very taunting. 99 cents on iPad? Oh man. The illustration with this article was drawn based upon what you told the journalist that you witnessed. It's already been very confusing, Oratorio. A figure emerged from a tomb wearing an iron mask. Isn't it such a great design, Trish? Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago, it was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity. It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burial. Not even the prison wardens were to see the man's face. But obviously, the provision of this mask was not public knowledge. Someone's making you play Persona 3 first? Oh boy, I can't wait till I play that one. So, Mr. Drepper, as you've just heard... A lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask. So unless you've actually seen the professor that night, it's inconceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration. Right, okay. Well, Mr. Drepper, so we aren't leaning on the article as much as the illustration. Which, you know, they could still argue is a sham, but we're getting somewhere. You've watched the Persona 3 movies, right, AJ? Yes, I've watched the Persona 3 movies, but I forgot everything about them. Literally everything. Except, like, one character design. So I'm pretty much, whenever I play them, I'd be going into them blind. It's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely... Oh god, the strings. And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified. Which is why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken. Persona 3 FES. So is that the one that's been released, or no? Offie. Just released this month, I mean. You're saying that you still didn't see it? No? Damn it. They released P3 Portable. Right, okay. So I gotta wait. Excuse me. You're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness. Or if you are, then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you. Of course, only too happy to oblige. I can't believe he's still not going to concede the point. The smile. Gotcha, Offie. Okay. FES is way better. Why would they do that? What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work.
Hold it!
A fellow grave robber? What are you talking about? Well, I wasn't the only one busy in the cemetery that night, you know. Other body snatchers were at work. This is extremely dark. This night, this like festival of body snatchers. Thank you for the follow, Ashley. Drebber reminds me of another character, but I can't place it. I know what you mean. Like, his design is very reminiscent of, like, Sephiroth or Kite, but in terms of personality and mannerisms, he's reminiscent of other things that I can't put my finger on. When I saw one emerging from the hole he dug, my heart very nearly stopped. The student lifestyle, for real. So that's the terrifying sight I actually saw, you see. You're claiming it was just another student on equally insalubrious business as yourself? Sorry, one sec, just looking in chat. In another world, I think he and Sholmes would get along very well. Maybe even this world, Briggs. Who's to say? Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissections. Clearly, the fellow was using a mask to protect his anonymity, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
Okay, the masks, that reminds me of another character we saw last stream, but there's more to this story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. Not once more! Not once more! We might assume that the sexton discovered the miscreants at work, perhaps, and fired upon one of them? Thank you, guest, for gifting 2 subs to Kyloff and Surtsutaja. Thank you very much, guest. Put those toward the Haikyuu video. You are inching towards that. Thank you. Will do. Thank you so much. I fired upon one of them. Sexton? If a gravedigger had shot someone in the cemetery, I think it might have been rather big news, my lord. Ah, yes, well, I can only assume it was... an embellishment bolted on later by the reporter. Let me just pause here for a second. Madame Tispel's doing to that face what we all would like to do to that face, affectionately. No, I have not played Persona 1 and 2. The only Personas I have played are 4 Golden, 5 Royal. That's it.
Objection!
That does fund it, guest. That does fund it indeed. Thank you so much for the 500 bits and the 2 subs. You have mathed perfectly. Thank you very much. Madame.
Excuse me.
Madame Tispels. Don't take it out on Mr. Sholmes. Oh la la, pardon? I was lost in my thoughts. Would it be fair to say that Mr. Drebber's last remark was significant to you in some way? I thought it was a little strange, that is all. How Monsieur Drebber could claim this now. If you don't mind me saying, madame, what are you talking about? Well, when I met you 10 years ago at your university dorm, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no? Including the gunshots. Stop. Whoa! Okay. You might want to watch your tongue, you know. The most well-written Persona game I have played is Persona 5 Royal by a mile. It completely washes 4 golden, and 5 base overall, in my opinion. You might want to wash your tongue, you know.
Objection!
Do not watch your tongue. Have a care, Drebber. That's no way to speak to a lady. A feminist king. Please, Madame Dispels, carry on. It's Royal season. Yeah, Royal is the best Persona content by far. Admittedly, I've only played the 4 material and the 5 material, but even still. I imagine Persona 3 will become a favorite. Please, Madame Dispels, carry on. Of course. According to what Monsieur Drebber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him, and the bullet hit the condemned man. I said nothing of the sort. No, you were very explicit about the details, about that mask the figure was wearing, and the blood that spattered over you when he was shot. Enough. Shut up, woman. You're making all of this up. Holy shit. That will do. Mr. Drebber. Yes. You refute the account just given by Madame Dispels? I have no recollection of ever saying those things. Come on, do you really expect us to believe you? Control yourself, counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom. Right. On these circumstances, I think it best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position on this. Very well. It's kicking off. It's kicking off. So, Offie, I guess let me quickly amend, my statement. I'm speaking in Ace Attorney terms. I have a list of things I want to experience in 2023, so I gotta change Persona 3 to Persona 3 FES to specify, just so I remember. Persona 3, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Not the FES P3P discourse. You gotta play them both to really understand. I've just been told that FES is far superior by most, so I'm just gonna do that, I guess. It is Offie's fault, but I guess I do gotta play them both, from Hannah, the Persona 3 expert. Hannah's the only authority on Persona 3 as far as I'm concerned, having not played it at all. The one they just released is Persona 3 Portable, so they've done the apparently inferior one. How do you plan on playing 3 FES, by the way? I'm hoping that I can find it in the PlayStation Store, but if not, I don't know. Ace Attorney certainly got an upgrade in graphics since the DS version I played. It definitely did. It is on the PS Store? Then there you go. That's what I'll do. Perfect. There was no gunshot from behind me at all, nor any spattering blood. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Oh, sorry, is this the revised one? There was no gunshot from behind me at all. Wait! Hold on. No blood. So that's a very certain statement. That's reminding me of something. Oh, Hannah, you're playing both. I really wish I don't think I can. Never say never, I guess. If I adore FES and then go, I really want to see the Persona 3 Portable perspective, then maybe. We'll see. But I don't yeah, I don't think I think I'm just gonna play FES. That's the plan to start, but who knows? Sorry, I've been big thinking. I think I've got Drebber pinned down because there was no gunshot from behind me at all, nor any spattering blood. What did we see on the camera that we know he was holding? Right? Right here. Red paint. Okay. Oh, we already have examined it. Okay, so that's already part of it. The dark staining. Okay. I think we can contradict him with this. Mr. Drebber, do you remember this camera? But that is the camera from that fateful night. Yes, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's the camera you took with you to the cemetery that night, Mr. Drebber. And is that supposed to be significant? Is that supposed to be significant? This kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. We noticed that the lens extends forwards on the end of some bellows. Like this.
Hold it!
Thank you, Soul Samurai. What's that? There's just on the bellows. It looks like a dark red stain. Ah! That's right. It's a rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact. The rare holds it from Van Ziek's very true. Are you suggesting? Yes, my lord. It would appear to be a spatter of blood. Van Ziek's is unraveling. Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test. Isn't that right, Dr. Scythe? It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. But yes, to test whether or not it's blood at all is simple enough. I propose that Madame Spell's testimony was correct, and on the night in question 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound. Well, and that furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb. There's simply no way you would have forgotten such a traumatic experience. In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night. But why? Why would he want to do that? I love that he's objecting not because he's contradicting us in the case, but he wants to learn more about the truth. Well, not for his own gain, it would seem. For whose then? For whose benefit? Who could benefit? Mr. Drebber is obviously lying in order to protect somebody. My goodness, he's shielding someone? He's shielding someone. Yes, my lord, and clearly, if someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming back to life, it is someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming back to life to be exposed. Well, counsel, who is it? Who is the witness trying to protect by lying about what he saw? I think it might be... I don't think we have many options here. Best part of the song? The drum. No. No, he wouldn't try to protect Asma. That makes no sense. No. Masked Man. My favorite Ascian. Second favorite Ascian. Yeah. German boy! He's trying to protect Guts! I wish I could voice him again. Okay, so no, not to spells, no, and that's him. We have one option left.
Take that!
The obvious answer is Dr. Scythe. I live in hope, Soul Samurai. I was watching the One Piece VODs and got gifted a sub. You did! Guest gave you that sub. Enjoy it, Surt Sutaja. And I hope you're enjoying the VODs. The obvious answer is Dr. Scythe. I will never witness German AJ live. I'll embody it. If we get no German accent before the end of it, I'll embody it just for you, Sarah. At least for a sentence or two. Speaking of Susato, have you seen the Avatar Borders of Ace Attorney in Steam? I have not. Jaman. Scythe? Whatever do you mean? Oh my god. Imagine if the convict who'd been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light. What are you insinuating? And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor, that would be an unprecedented scandal.
Objection!
This is beyond a joke. Nita points out that the dead cannot come back to life. And he knows that better than anyone, doesn't he? Well, you're suggesting that would mean that the execution never actually happened. Yes, that... Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. No one could escape, not in Great Britain.
Objection!
But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging. Yeah, the masked man is just taking it all in. He's got his wine at the ready. If that were really true, counsel, the implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up. And it's exactly because of those monumental repercussions that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret, even if that meant being complicit in a crime. You mean... Oh my god. It would mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating in Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. Or I mean that. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Osman with the waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy. The corruption runs deep. Oh my god! It's been a long time. Lord Van Zeeks! Pray forgive. The leg. Oh, it's all kicking off. Pray forgive my freshly filled hallowed chalice and a whole raft of other discourtesies just now. Goodness me. It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. Thank you, Soul Samurai. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels. So let me ask you one thing. What's that? If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night only to be shot in the chest, who pulled the trigger and disposed of him forever? Hey, Pro-Pinkists, welcome in. Right on time. Would you go on a date with me, my learned friend? Ryunosuke revealing state secrets pretty confidently after getting banned from practicing law for 8 months is for revealing state secrets. He is on a state secret revealing grind, my king. I have no idea at the moment. We have too little information to work that out at present, I think. Wait, sorry, what did he say? Okay, so who pulled the trigger? I couldn't agree more. Oh, wow. He doesn't need Masked Man to help him for this. The Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies. And have you considered this, my learned Nipponese friend? Considered what? A strong heart must be regretting it a little bit, Soul Samurai. Do you realize that just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? What if it is Briggs? That is not even relevant for the case, so the question by Van Zeeks is super pointless. Yeah, it is super pointless. That just shows how invested he is in that. Like, his motives for, like, this afternoon or this morning, whatever, they're all over the map. They have nothing to do with actually exposing the truth of Hairbrain at the moment. It's crazy. Started reading Haikyuu because of you. Already at 100 chapters and really enjoying it. That's awesome, baby Gil. Please update me with your progress. I think Haikyuu gets better and better as it goes on. So if you're really enjoying it now, good signs. PQ indeed. He doesn't need Masked Man's help with anything. He's just extra. He's been able to do it before. He just wants the extra. The extra eye candy by his arm. He is the bottle opener. It's tantamount to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary. Quite hard to imagine any sum of money being offered for research could warrant it. I guess so, MK. To rely on some stage deception when so much is at stake would be madness. Well, I suppose... And this was no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. A man who'd already invested money in the venture, and would be instrumental in future profits too. Yes, I had no reason to kill Mr. Osmond at all. Or are you forgetting that his death results in me receiving not a single penny? Thank you for the follow, Melvis. The court is already aware of the contract between myself and the victim, no. There is the contract, that's very true. The motive for this case runs deep, though, I can feel it. Using threats to force the head of the forensic investigation team to cooperate is extreme, especially for a government grant he had no guarantee of receiving in the first place. If the research grant was the aim, taking Mr. Osmond's life would have made no sense anyway. I love how Van Zieks is so focused on finding the truth. Unlike other prosecutors, he doesn't care about his image or reputation as a great prosecutor. He just wants to uncover the lies. Like a certain learned Nipponese. Very true. Yeah, why don't you marry Van Zieks, Offie? Get in line, I guess. Which means Mr. Drebber's motive wasn't money at all. He was just trying to kill Mr. Osmond. But why? What was his motive? Your time is up, my learned friend. I'd say you have one last chance before the jury lose their patience with this charade. That is a very long line indeed. It is indeed. Let's see if you can back up your heady proposal, shall we? The dodge? He was ready for it. How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country? The dodge, the moves. What the hell was that? That's awesome. They've rehearsed. They've rehearsed. At this point, I'm not prepared to listen to any more of this outlandish conjecture without proof. So, counsel, present your evidence. All right, who exactly was Mr. Osmond to Drebber? There's a connection there that no one sees yet. And I'm going to present two pieces of evidence to show what it is? Oh shit, okay. So the connection of Osmond to Drebber, we know one for sure. Yes, my lord. The evidence that establishes a motive and explains why the witness wanted the victim dead is right here. He's used to it at this point, I guess so. Okay, it's right here, right? Yeah, the signature's right there.
Take that!
It's this newspaper article, my lord. That was written 10 years ago, and every detail has been examined already. What can it possibly tell us? Come on, Van Zieks. Come on, buddy. That drivel should never have been written. It's typical gutter press nonsense that means nothing. Yes, on its own it isn't particularly significant. However, when considered alongside this other piece of evidence... Oh shit, okay. It will completely explain your motive for wanting Mr. Osmond dead. What other evidence? Thank you, Nora. Hopefully it continues. Counsel, you will present your supplementary... Because I don't know what this is. Supplementary evidence without delay. All I had was Osmond's signature. I don't know what... So this is evidence for motive for Drebber to want to kill Osmond. Okay. Not the armband. So he's upset at Osmond because that illustration exposed what really happened and completely ruined his life, I imagine. So what corroborates that? It does feel unnecessary. I agree, Tompia, because, like, I feel like that's enough. But thank you for the follow, Joa Tank. Autopsy. I don't think so. So we did this. The contract? The terms of investment. The investor enters into contract with Drebber to fund labor and materials for the construction of a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Mr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations from the government, grants, or other income. Mr. Drebber may only uphold this right on the condition that both contracting parties are alive. Yeah, I agree, Nora. I think it's that it hasn't been established it's the same Osman in this case. Mr. Drebber is to receive 30%. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, for future reference, guys, could you please not direct me to that? Because now I know exactly it's this, because of the signature. The signature cooperates that. So that leans me a bit too much. That leans a bit too much into backseating. So just for future, please don't do something like that. So it's this.
Take that!
It's this contract, my lord. Mr. Drebber, this is the contract you signed with Mr. Osman. Yes, that's right. This is the very document, in fact. That proves I had no reason to kill the man. No, I'm afraid not. What? There's something very significant that this newspaper article and the contract have in common. Really? And it's that common link. Yeah. Damn. I kind of wish I figured that out on my own. That shows very clearly why you were determined to kill Mr. Odi Osman. It seems the defense has uncovered something the rest of us have missed. So, my learned friend, point out what these two pieces of evidence have in common. Where exactly is the link between the... Yeah, so it's the signature.
Take that!
Honestly, that's the peak chatter form, Offie. I could never accidentally backseat because I always forget. That's me. When I watch other streams, I would never backseat, obviously, but I couldn't even accidentally do it because I forget a lot of stuff. What these two pieces of evidence have in common is a signature. Yeah, good thing we live in a world where signatures are consistent. Otherwise, there'd be a different problem. Yeah, that I would consider that backseating. Not a huge deal, but I really would have liked to figure that out on my own. So just none of that in the future unless I ask, please. I've played the entire Ace Attorney series and watched multiple playthroughs, and I still couldn't backseat. Oh, shit. Imagine having a consistent signature. Hope I get that one day. My signature is so bad. It is so bad. It looks completely different every time. Offie, just DM me on Twitter, and I'll do that right after the stream. The 100K. Big moves. So yeah, I'll just remember to DM me, or I might remember on my own, but just so I don't forget, and then I got you after stream. Oh, the One Piece live tweets. I might have to mute you though, Offie. I'll follow you, but I might have to mute you if you tweet out One Piece stuff. At least until you're done. The signature on the illustration that accompanies a 10-year-old article and the signature on the contract belong to the same person. Okay, sounds good, Offie. All these games, and the only thing I managed to guess was Mia wearing a maid outfit. That's pretty good, antagonist. My signature is somehow consistent. It's still very bad, though. Honestly, Bad but consistent is better than slightly better but inconsistent. To me, at least. I've got the worst of both worlds. I've got bad and inconsistent. True, K. Yeah, I do remember that. As the court has heard, this illustration was drawn 10 years ago by the newspaper reporter who found Mr. Drebber and interviewed him about this ordeal. If you look closely, the reporter's signature can be found in the bottom right corner of the drawing. And if you look at the contract here, which was signed between the witness and the victim last year, you can clearly see Mr. Osman's signature on the bottom. Let me see now. Good lord, yes, they're identical! Beautiful. In short, because forgery doesn't exist in this world, the journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Mr. Drebber 10 years ago is a very neat signature. Was the victim of this case Mr. Odi Osman? Oh god, he's dead. Is bro dead?
Objection!
But explain to the court why. He's saying, explain to me why. Why would that constitute a motive for the witness to murder Osman? Well, if you think back, you remember that Mr. Drebber talked about that article in his testimony. Grave robbing, you say? Right, yep. I suffered retribution enough. That's it, yep. Right, yep. Someone mentioned AJ figured out the twist early. What twist? The handwriting? That Osman was the photographer? Or the illustrator, sorry? The reporter? I think that might be it. As soon as he said it, we were all like, that's the motive right there. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist. Okay, yeah. You assumed it to be proven already. I see. Gotcha. At the time, you were a student of the University of London who dreamt of being a scientist. However, this single newspaper article changed your entire life. That's crazy. So the reason that twist kind of confused me, or the two pieces of evidence confused me, was because I was kind of supposed to discover it a little later. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, whatever. It doesn't matter. Hey, Wolfman. How's it going, Wolfman? So Mr. Osman used to be a newspaper journalist, did he? He did, my lord. In fact, it's widely held belief that Osman managed to position himself at the heart of the his criminal network, thanks to the many dubious connections he made during his time as a reporter. Interesting. The game is too slow for you? The game's slow? The game sucks? Every slow game in the world sucks? Zelda Twilight Princess sucks? It's not my favorite Zelda? So you had to give up on your dream and leave university. You lost everything. Big Jace Talus vibes from this element of Drebber. Eventually you found yourself working in the field of science, but only in the shadows. And because of that article written by Mr. Osman. Enough! Stop this endless drivel about my life. What? Explain yourself, Mr. Drebber. Yes, it's true. I had to leave the university as a result of that article. But it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. What do you mean? Almost every student of science in the faculty was too poor to actually conduct any research. But they struggled on with their hypotheses anyway. We all did, only to have them taken by vultures. True, Offie. Based and true. Midna sucks, Zant sucks. Sooner or later, you knew your ideas would be stolen and patented by some wretch or other, after all. That is horrible. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, yep. Thank you, Wolfman. This case is awesome. Good gracious. Making a name for yourself as a scientist in a climate like that. I'm sorry, NL. It goes against every fiber of my being to say that. You guys know how I feel about Twilight Princess. was a miracle only a select few geniuses could ever hope to achieve. It's in the name Midna. Oh god. Personally, I wasn't one of those geniuses, so it was hardly a wrench. Being forced out of the university because of Logate was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Objection.
I think that criticism is... I wholly disagree with that criticism, Ramuki. Ganondorf is absolutely essential as an antithesis to everything that Twilight Princess as a whole, as a story, is. I explain it more in my video on Twilight Princess. I explain it quite well there, I think. But long story short, TLDR is that criticism. I couldn't disagree more. The game would be much worse without a Dumbledore. What the hell? Ganondorf. Without Ganondorf. Why did I say Dumbledore? I don't know. Dumbledorf. Oh, Trish, you got a ton of games to unearth. Harry, why did you put your name on the Triforce of Power? Or did you put your name on the Triforce of Power? No. Did you get another student to do it for you? No. You're absolutely sure. But of course he is lying. For some reason, I've got that scene memorized. He said calmly. Mr. Drebber, do you genuinely believe that? Of course I do. Who's better placed to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me? Ooh. I don't know about that. I'm sorry to say that your words don't ring true at all. How dare you? And I have evidence to prove it. How are you in a position to say anything about me? I don't know you from Adam. Fine, if you have evidence, go ahead, show it. What could you possibly have to disprove the idea that I was happy to leave university because I lacked talent? So I have to prove that he was unhappy to leave the university because he lacked talent. Oh, I can't. I was gonna go to the characters. Is there some sort of memento about the university on him? What's that cross? Thank you, Nora. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. So I have to disprove the idea that he was happy to leave university. I don't think there's... Is there something in this photo? We'll put a pin in that. Is there anything in this contract? Maybe this could be it? Maybe he still has a passion for science? We'll put a pin in that too. This one's tough. Oh no, not that one. I don't think it's this one. The trophy? We haven't looked at the trophy. A Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. Would this contradict that he was happy to leave university? What on this proves that he was unhappy to leave university? I mean, winning an award doesn't necessarily prove that you're passionate. Like, he was passionate, clearly. But I don't think this alone would prove it. So I'm thinking it's either this... Maybe the contract, but that would be the same thing as the trophy, so it's missing a little something. But still, maybe the contract, and I stuck a pin in this. Maybe there's something on his... Maybe this thing is representative of something. But how does it prove? I was happy to leave the university because I lacked talent. Oh, unless we're not trying to disprove that he was happy, we're trying to disprove that he lacked talent. If that's the case, then this trophy would be pretty directly a contradiction to that. That may be it. You didn't lack talent. You had this really prestigious award. Because I don't know what exactly the statement's aiming at. Let's try it.
Take that!
My goodness. This is going quite smoothly so far. Do you remember this, Mr. Trevor? We found it at your workshop. Is that a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science? What exactly is this trophy, Council? It's the greatest honor that can be bestowed upon a young scientist, my lord. Don't jinx it. Oh, I think I just did, Propinkist. True, yeah. He was consistently trying to self-deprecate himself as a defense. True, Kingslayer, yeah, so that makes sense. Again, such a great contrast and foil to Harebrain, who would not, like, the exact opposite. He couldn't let other people think that he was anything less than brilliant. There was no higher accolade. It recognizes emerging talent and promises a bright future. Your prospects for the future were excellent, weren't they, Mr. Drebber? Because even then, you were a genius in your field. Is, Drebber hot? Oh yeah, people coming out of the woodworks to say yes. Good to see a bunch of correct answers, always good. As is always the case with Monday chat. But you lost everything. You had no more future. Your talents would go to waste. And all as a result of this one newspaper article. The miracle never happened. I don't know when you realized who Mr. Osman was, but when it dawned on you that he was the same journalist who 10 years ago ruined your life, it's abundantly clear that you had no intention of forgiving the man. Ooh, that change in expression? Scythe is drawing the aggro. Hot take, Drebber is hotter than Scythe and to spells. That is a hot take. The truth is, I'm afraid I can't comment as a boring heterosexual. Harebrain trying to make himself look brilliant even if it hurts his own case. Drebber downplaying his talents and seeming self-deprecating to help his own case. Yeah, it's so cool. I love that dynamic, Propinkist. The truth is... Finally, he's going to fold. Is he, though? As a boring heterosexual thoughts on Scythe? Oh, my thoughts on Scythe, the chat is very much correct. Fine. Clearly this has run its course. What is she cooking? Who do you like more, Sephiroth or Kite? I think Sephiroth is a better character, but I actually have more emotional connection to Kite. But Sephiroth's a better character. What? I admit it. All of it. What? What are you doing? It's exactly as the Japanese man said. What is she doing? What is she cooking? I was coerced into going along with this man's plot to murder the victim, on the condition that he kept my dirty secret from 10 years ago. Oh, I love Kite, Propinkist. Sephiroth is just amazing, though. Dr. Scythe, do you realize what you're saying, woman? It's all true. That day... When I arrived at the Crystal Tower and saw the birdcage, my heart nearly stopped beating. How do you feel about post-FF7 Sephiroth stuff? I talked about that in my remake video, Weaver. I think it's all great. I think it's all great, and I think it elevates him, actually. But yeah, for an elaboration, you can check out my remake video. That memory from a decade ago that I'd done my best to bury deep inside myself. It was the professor again, staring me in the face. And then, before I had a chance to react, I noticed something else. There was a note tucked inside the model's jacket. Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan. From someone who knows the truth about what really happened that night 10 years ago. All the instructions were there in the note. Every detail was meticulously written out. I feel that, Nora. I hope, the Umineko brain rot is hitting. I've been there. I thought about Umineko for... and I still do, but like immediately after finishing it, I had it for like 4 months. I had no choice but to do what it said. I made the necessary alterations to the scene and fabricated the autopsy report as instructed. There was really no other choice. It had to be done to protect the judiciary. I can only apologize now. I agree, Briggs. I think Scythe is doing some shady shit. This is not the full truth, no doubt. Why on earth would you buckle now? Well, there's no point in trying to hide it anymore, is there? I would have done anything to stop it coming out, even collaborate in a murder. But the great lie about that execution 10 years ago has been exposed. Whatever happens, I'm finished. So then, Mr. Drebber, what do you say to that? Hey, Dave. Sorry, I didn't say hi earlier. How's it going, Dave? Your accomplice has admitted everything. Surely it goes without saying. You admit your part in it too, then. I admit nothing at all. Whoa, was his hand ticking? What? Look at his hand! I don't know if it did that before. If it did, I just didn't see it. Have you forgotten that the kinesis machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion? Short of me admitting to a crime, there's no possible way for you to prove I did anything wrong. Order! Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secret, so I went along with his plan. And Lord Van Zeeks? Yes? I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands, of course. Pandora's box. It's in your hands. I have heard more than enough. I hereby present the final findings of this court. This trial is not the proper forum in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Drebber. The defendant is Professor Albert Harebrain. Very true. It had slipped my mind. It did indeed, didn't it? Didn't it, you sussy vampiric baka? Isn't he one of your closest friends? As the court has heard, Dr. Scythe has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt. Oh. You mean... At the present time, it is the conclusion of this court that the defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing. Does the prosecution have any objection? It is not ending like this. There's no chance. Sussy vampiric baka is such a phrase. Very appropriate, though. None, my lord. His closest friend that he hasn't spoken to in 10 years. True. Congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't speak so soon. Don't speak so soon, my dear. You've proven Professor Harebrain's innocence. What is gonna happen? Oh my god. What is gonna happen? This is not ending here. Without further ado then, the adjudication. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss, oh boy. I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Oh, is it us who's going to interrupt it? Why did Dr. Scythe suddenly admit to it like that? Is everything alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Good case, let's move on to case 4. Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. Excuse the voice crack, but is that really what we want? What the defense should be pushing for now is... Oh yeah, you better believe we want further testimony. And I agree, Tompiet, very much. It's gonna be us. We need further testimony. Lay it on us.
Objection!
The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon? We demand one final testimony. Epic? Oh, who's gonna do it, though? Who's gonna do it? Is the waxwork gonna do it? You do realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume. We don't give a shit. We're in the truth business. Exactly, Oratorio. I love that growth. What are you playing at, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that. Mr. Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking? The truth, the whole truth, and a way to bring it all out into the open. This is a big turning point for Ryu. I agree, Prodigy. Yeah, Chispels is just vibing. She's doing her work. Right. Ryu, well, how is he so cool? In hindsight. That's it, yes! Oh, Shomes. If you perceive even a shadow of doubt in the truth, don't let it go out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. Oh, this is awesome. This is amazing. To the bitter end, you understand? Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. I'm sure Mr. Shomes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client, and to secure an acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court, to pursue the whole truth of the case until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe. All right, here we go. Testimony from me, about what? About the nature of your collaboration with Enoch Drebber. Ha! In case it's escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has been revealed, so stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship has made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination.
Objection!
Yes. Do it. Oh, do it, King. Here we go. We got Van Zieks on our side. Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped. Right hailing? I love that element to Shomes. These are the moments that show, like, he may be stupid, but he also smart. That's what you call it? He slipped. What is your objection, Lord Van Zieks? The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid. I hope so, antagonist. If there is more to this case than has yet to come to light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. Oh my god. You'll what? Lord Van Zieks. This is most irregular, to say the least. However, as the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Scythe, you will testify for the courts, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Drebber. Very well. Yeah, we're working together with Van Zieks. We have transcended racism. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside the jacket. Time for the hardest testimony in the game? Oh god. The thing is, I'm not sure at all what we're going to find out in this testimony. I don't know either. I have no clue. But let's see. Let's just take it as it goes. Let's see. We defeated racism. Oh, for that command, Soul Samurai, you have to add an S, so it's spoilers. This is really tough, but you got it, AJ? Thank you. Okay. Oh god, what did I just do? Okay. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. Yeah, I don't actually know what I'm trying to do here. Point out contradictions, I guess? That is an Ace Attorney thing. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. Okay? The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I save-scummed my way through this? Oh god, okay. What is that over there? Guys, look over there. Must have been the wind. Must have been the wind. What is over there? Something crazy. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. Hang on, I went blind and deaf for a few seconds. What just happened? Nothing. There was just like something over there. I don't know. But I've been paying straight attention to Scythe right here. I haven't moved. My stream blacked out for a second? Try refreshing maybe? Weird. But I've been here. I've just been doing this. My stream lagged? Nothing at all. You missed nothing. I felt smoke coming out of my ears after I managed to figure this one out. Oh my god. This is not good. At least I haven't saved while we were looking away. Exactly. Nothing happened. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret at the highest level. I had to protect it. Okay, my first impression of that is I don't know at all what to do, so I might have to press everything. So I was right, the stage and the machine were all specially designed for the deception. So it seems, and all meticulously prepared. Yeah, none of her testimony sounds fishy. Thank you, Soul Samurai. I will do it. We'll do it. I just might combust in the process. And all meticulously prepared. You did well to see through it. You're a very shrewd boy. So kind of you to say. I see what you mean, antagonist. What about this autopsy report? I was gonna say something offy. All I did was record the location of the body as being in the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. I do not believe in you, AJ. What's the opposite of thank you? Whatever that is. That's all? That's a terrible corruption. Fuck you. Okay, I take it back. Scythe is hotter than Drebber. Neck and neck. It's very fluid, beautiful. A quick fuck you. Okay, there we go. Fuck you, Ramuki. Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Why can't they both be hot? They are both hot. But I guess there's an internal ranking going on for beautiful. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. The most lukewarm fuck you ever. Yeah. We must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that the testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for a cross-examination, I would say. No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at that expression on Dr. Scythe's face. Why is she being... What has she got cooking? What is she doing? Did we ever get a clip of the blow me from Monday? I'm not sure. If we did, no one posted it in Discord, Pro Pinkist. Scythe is the hottest Great Ace Attorney character next to Van Zeeks. No one beats Francisca, though? That's a very fair top 3, Sarah. What is she cooking? It was posted in the Discord? Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. I missed it. Let me quickly... Yeah, Nora posted it. Here we go. Excuse the detour for a second. Blow me. Yeah, for anyone who wants access to that clip, the Discord's right here. Make that a donation sound? I should. We've got a bunch of new bit alerts right here, but I should add to it. What number should it be? You clipped it, Nora. What number should that be? 69 bits? Alright, you got it. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony. 68 or 70. What is it with you what is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent? Very well. If you so desire, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. All right. What am I aiming at here? I'm scared. I'm confused. I'm lost. Okay. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. Nothing odd there. Probably not nothing odd there. Nothing odd there. Okay, this is where we start going a little vague. The body had to be arranged in certain ways. What ways? To implicate the defendant, which was my job. I might want to press that because it's a bit vague. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. That's vague too. I had to protect it. Okay, let's try pressing this. You kind of just have to accept that all the British characters are somewhat racist. Fair enough. Who's a British character who's not racist? Drebber? Herlock? Oh yeah, Sholmes. Yeah, of course. Sholmes, Iris. Yep. Judge kinda. Judge was very yikes at the beginning of the game. He's been good since then, but he was very yikes at the beginning of the game. Maybe Shamspear. Toby! True. Gina? Sholmes had worrying comments about Russians. Damn it. Gotta cancel him. Okay. Toby Fox. Perfect, Ramuki. Let's hear this lukewarm. Fuck you, Ramuki. Perfect. Blow me. What a clip. Blow me. Alright, I'm done, I promise. It was like, fuck you, Ramuki. Okay. Let's press this.
Hold it!
The entire team in perverting the course of justice? Let's not moralize here, Ryu. We need to contradict something. My team consists of the very best investigators out there. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts. You aid and abet a murderer, commit perjury, and dare to talk of chivalry? Ryu, we need to get to the truth. I love the moral outrage, but we gotta get to the truth. It was a matter of priority. What? Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what was necessary without losing sight of the primary goal. I consider their conduct exemplary. I like the reaction to you went to the Gon and Kilo screen for a second. Yeah. Don't concede the point, Mr. Naruhodo. You mustn't let her win. I need a lawyer. Okay, I'll take that silence as tacit acceptance. Now, can we move on? Ryu, you are a lawyer. Okay, that didn't do anything. That didn't take me anywhere. This is the other one I wanted to press. How dare you manipulate this crime scene? Susato sweating nervously. When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this. Sure. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yes, the instructions on the engineer's note said something along the lines of... Reminds you of Chopper. Yeah, Drebber's just big... Drebber is big chillin'. Fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Osmond. So, you mean that was your doing? I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me alone to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. Alone, Doctor. Oh, have we uncovered something? I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. Huh. Oh. Okay, I think we're barking up the right tree so far. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then, I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. It is spooky, Soul Samurai. It's perfect. And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report... And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report as a fictitious cause of death. Exactly. So the actual cause of death was... the stab wound? Oh, sorry, no, yeah, sorry, it's the other way around. The trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop. Okay. My word. What is it, Miss Susato? Something about Dr. Scythe's last statement is playing on my mind, that's all. Yes, mine too. Dr. Scythe! There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well. All right, Queen. The defense calls for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Okay, we're making progress. Okay, we have an amended testimony statement. So that's where we gotta focus. Oh, which part? What I want her to supplement with her testimony is... Damn, okay. The real cause of death or what she did to the victim. I'm gonna go with... what she did to the victim. How you stabbed Mr. Osmond in the chest, that part. Because I think if we go with the classic traditional one, which would be the first choice, I think we gotta take the road less traveled, the path less traveled for this one. Fine, if that's what you want. But there's really no need to point. The prosecution concurs. Oh, we're both pointing at her. Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness. Okay. If you wish, my lord. Okay, so we gotta laser in on this. I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the topple cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Okay, let's press it. So it was this that you plunged into the chest? Yes. Far easier than dissection, I assure you. No precision required. What a welcome change. The victim died instantly from the snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions I'd been given. As unflinchingly as ever, no doubt. I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. There was no need to bat my eyelids. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you? If you wish. Okay. Okay, so there's something in this statement. I stood over the corpse where it lay in the cage and plunged it into their chest. Okay. What can contradict that? No. That's the scene she was talking about. So she wrote the autopsy report. You think you got it, Briggs? Right. There are a bunch of things here that could... The piece of broken glass. It lay in the topple cage. Was it in the topple cage? Yes. No. That's I found it. I think I found it. Because she was saying... Okay. I need to check out what she said in the history. Okay, so this is it. She said, there was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. So she is saying that she found the... She said she found it in the dirt underneath the stage. So she's saying she found it... She's saying she found it... here. She's saying she found it right here. Where my mouse is pointing. I think that's what she's saying. But... in the photograph of the victim here, there is glass from the Crystal Tower. That's a contradiction. She didn't find it in the place where she said she found it. Or, like, the body isn't where she said it was. I think. Is that... Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe it isn't a contradiction. I stood over it and plunged it into the chest. Where was the screwdriver found? Yeah, okay, the screwdriver was found in a different location. I don't know if that's actually a contradiction, though. I might be getting lost in what she's actually trying to say. So the screwdriver was there. The body was there. No, that isn't a contradiction, is it? Shit. That isn't a contradiction. Please don't hint at anything, guys. Please don't tell me anything unless I ask. It's soap. I think there's something to do with the screwdriver. Because he was found here with a stab wound, a wound to the chest. Ugh. Thank you, Offie. Thank you, Soul Samurai. She plunged the soap into his chest. I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into his chest. There's something there. Okay. in the toppled cage. If she saw him in the toppled cage, this wasn't the same cage that he was found in. Was it? I'm getting the cages mixed up in my brain. I think this is a different cage. I think the glass is important. She stood over him in the toppled cage. Let me see the cage. The bird cage. Right, so this is the one she stabbed him in. How did she even reach? How did she reach that? That is a huge-ass cage. How do you stand over that? Does she have to go inside? To me... Okay, this is what I'm thinking. To me, you cannot physically stab him like that with a screwdriver unless you go... Because they showed us a scene. Unless you go inside the cage. Which was the case in the original cage. She could have gone inside because of the hole there. But she couldn't do that in the other cage, which I think is where he was found. Or was he found there? Oh, the cage stuff is screwing with me because I don't remember it properly. So this is the original cage. That's what it looks like. But you wouldn't be able to stab through the cage in the new one. Oh, she could have just opened the door? I guess so. For some reason, I thought of it as locked. But yeah, you're right. I just noticed he has a bruise. He has a bruise on his face. The blood on the strap here is interesting. Because she stabbed him. That looks like something that would have come out when you take it out. So she stabbed him and took it out. You know what? I might have been wrong to something earlier. So I'm assuming what happened here is she stabs him in, takes it out in one motion. Boom, boom. That was found in the grill back with the original cage. But is there any blood on the cage? No, that could just be a graphical limitation. But let's work with this for the time being. In this cage, I might be confusing something completely, but in this cage, there's blood, which shows that the stabbing occurred in this cage. And that would confirm, and the cage can't be moved like that, right? So it can't be that the victim was moved because the blood stain, there, affecting the strap there. So he had to have been stabbed here, in this precise location. He could have been moved. He had to have been in this cage. This cage is in the Crystal Tower. She said that she stabbed him in the void beneath there. That's a contradiction. I'm going with that. I'm not sure either, Nora. I could be misremembering. Let's try it. I think that makes sense. Okay, so either I was right, or I was completely wrong and got lucky. Either way, it's hilarious. I've got a nasty feeling that this inconsistency points to an extremely uncomfortable truth. What on earth what is this music? Oh my god. What on earth is the matter, Council? Have you lost your tongue? Oh. I apologize, my lord. Dr. Scythe, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation. Banger? Oh! Oh! The strings! It's always the strings! Outwithin, my learned friend, tell me. There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph. This is a shonen. This is a shonen happening right now. Which shows that the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
Objection.
The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it.
Objection.
Not true. Yes, we have already considered it. It's true. But we know now that the facts we now know the facts to be different. What do you mean? I believe we should let the defense explain. Where in the photograph will we see the alleged inconsistency with the statement? Oh god, oh shit, oh fuck. Sorry for swearing. I don't know why I apologize for saying the F word, but I'd like to not say it too often. Oh god, I have to show my work. Okay, so it's either the crystals showing that he's in the crystal tower here, or the wound, and the bloodstain here. We don't mind at all? I'm glad. I think it would have to do with the bloodstain. Wait, let me see. Yeah, I guess it seems like it, Propinkist. I'm leaning towards this. Let's try it. If it's not this, it's the crystal shards in the back, I think. Explain your reasoning first? I did. I explained the whole thing. I remember getting jump scared once it started playing in my playthrough. I think, okay, let's try this first.
Take that.
Look closely at the bloodstain on the victim's chest. Oh, I was looking at the straps. Oh god, I was wrong. My logic was wrong. No. Oh, well, we got there in the end. We got there in the end. It extends in a downwards direction towards the man's feet. And why is that significant, Council? You were wrong but right, and that's just the Ace Attorney experience. It is. It really is. That's been my experience this whole time. If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Of course, no, that's not what happened. Exactly, my lord. Dr. Scythe made it very clear in the testimony just now that the point in which she stole Professor Harebrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after, right? Oops, the knife is in the way. Yeah. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop, and if the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position, the blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. True. Ryu is a genius. For it to have you guys are geniuses if for figuring that out. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in the picture, is inconceivable. Ah! Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downward from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Osman, he was standing up. I had to look it up. Fair. In short, Dr. Scythe, your latest testimony was a total fabrication. Ah! God, my tea's so cold. I knew it. I was right. Now I've identified that contradiction, there's only one way to explain the facts. We've all been under a great misapprehension here. What? What sort of misapprehension? Dr. Scythe. You claim you were coerced into helping Mr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that he made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate, or that you made changes to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie. Because the question of what the bloodstain really tells us has only one possible answer. It was the... If that is the case, what is it, man? Did Van Ziek just say man? Oh, he is dropping all of it. He is spiraling. Thank you, Santi. Thank you, Santi. 10 months is indeed a long time. Thank you for the double-digit support. Really appreciate it. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you, Santi. What is it, man? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's so good. Oh. Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. Scythe's story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony? That would be... I think there's multiple false ones here, but in particular to her testimony, it's the stabbing of the victim. Right? The answer is very simple if you consider the sequence of events. If when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time. But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage. He just said we were right. Did you see that? He said we were right. Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in that position of his own accord.
Objection!
That's impossible. The man was dead, remember? No, that was the misapprehension. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. Oh, really, Oratorio? It could have been the autopsy report as well, I think. But Mr. Osman didn't die in the fall. He cares. He does, Wolfman. He does. Okay. Oh, God. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came around, he got to his feet to climb out. Oh, no. Oh, God. Just as Dr. Scythe appeared. If the victim was in fact alive at this point in time, it changes everything. Ah, the way they... Oh my god. The way they do the prelude into the full song and then repeat at it again. I'm going to put my subs on the bank towards Disco Elysium so I have time to finish Yakuza 0 before the streams. Big brain indeed, Santi. Sounds good. Mr. Odi Osman's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Hairbrain, nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Enoch Drebber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Scythe. Order! Sorry, Weaver, it's looking like it may be the other way. Yakuza 0 isn't even funded yet. Can this be true? Yeah, you and Santi are literal protagonist-antagonist. Can this be true? Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him? Oh my god. You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end, before you were accused of a far worse crime. Cold-blooded murder. Oh, do shut up! You're so desperate now, you're making all this up, as if I would do something like that. Susato? I assure you the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Naruhodo has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Ha! Logic? Don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole. What? What do you mean? I'd have thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason could I have to kill Mr. Osman? Osman was involved in any number of criminal activities, from coercion to theft to murder. But there is no known connection to Dr. Scythe, and the best part of the song? I'm rather relieved to say that it does seem somewhat far-fetched. True, there's no obvious motive. This is so good, Tompiet, how it's all coming together like this. There's still something in the back of my mind. This may be my favorite case in the series in terms of how it all comes together and figuring it out. It's right up there. I'm sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the coroner might have done this. Yeah, I love that oratorio. Drebber had no clue. Thank you, Kurtman. Thank you, Kurtman, for the 4 months. I really appreciate your support for the past few months. And, in particular, I can't wait to have you in the next 14 stream, if you're available, of course. Thank you so much for the 4 months, Kurtman. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report. But murdering someone for no reason is a very different story. No. When you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Osman, something did come to mind. What? What was it, Counsel? Enlighten the court at once. Yeah, I don't really know. We saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something seemed strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. What was it? There's a particular object that explains why Dr. Scythe would have wanted to kill Mr. Osman. She ordered 500 scalpels, did she not? Or tons of scalpels all over the place. Okay. Process of elimination. What does the Iron Mask have to do with Dr. Scythe wanting to kill him? I don't understand how that makes any sense. I don't really understand how the scalpels make much sense either, but it makes a bit more sense because there's the whole thing with tons of scalpels all over the place, the screwdriver. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think this... I think it has to be the scalpels, but I don't know why. Am I going to 2 times in a row fake my way into the right answer? I don't know. I just don't see, like, the Iron Mask has had its relevance already. The screwdriver has had its relevance already. I just think it has to be the scalpels. Fake it till you make it? Absolutely. I think it has to be. Explain it to me. It's a scalpel, or rather, scalpels, yes. Because that was mentioned yesterday, and it was mentioned as sus. But why? Like, what's the deal here? Did you say scalpels? It would appear that the word has struck a chord, Doctor. You... come on, out with it. It was yesterday when we visited your lab. The thick book? An accounting ledger. It's a record of the spending. Oh, what is it? Yeah. This one seems strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. That's what I was thinking of. But, like, I don't know how that connects exactly to her motive. $500 scalpels a month. At first, I wondered what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them, disappearing every month. Oh, I see. On the department's accounts, I see. Osman's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a big jump. I don't know if I would have got that. He is the boss of a criminal organization. He does all sorts of shady shit. So it makes sense. Would be extremely straightforward. 10 years ago, when he was still a journalist and wrote this article about Mr. Drebber, he may have stumbled upon information as he was researching this story. Oh, okay, never mind. I actually misinterpreted it. Okay, so that's her dark secret. Okay, she was doing it. Okay, I thought he was using them as a means to use that for some sort of funding. But she's been doing it. Okay, I got it. Her darkest secret. Good lord, you mean... I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago, but clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own will. You stabbed Mr. Osman in the heart with all your might, to silence the blackmailer who knew your dark secret forever. I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. You'll never understand, none of you! Well, we've had to keep covered up all these long years. She may be a murderer, but she is fine. As very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb, the truth of this case can never be properly established unless you speak out. And if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Scythe will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done and tell the court the truth about what happened. 10 years ago, you told the truth, and you were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now. However, this is surely the chance you've been waiting for to sever the hold of the fate that fate has had over you all these years. Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis? I mean, really? It's the addle-brained mock scientists that are the worst, you know. They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right. Wow. This puts so much of a spin on his dynamic with Hairbrain. Wow. Knowing where he's come from. And so they end up chasing impossible dreams, having unbridled faith in their abilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypotheses, their stupid eyes shining like a little child's. They make me sick. I can't abide their foolishness. Careful, Mr. Drebber. I was particularly pleased with the kinesis machine. It made for quite a show, didn't it? So you admit it. You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim? Yes, I admit it. I did it all in the name of revenge. Yeah, I can't do that, MK. It would break my immersion in this scene. Revenge for the future that Mr. Osman's article had deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you sought didn't stop at Osman, did it? Yeah, that's what I've thought as well, Oratorio. Which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Yes, I see. The condemned convict that saw you rising from the grave in Lowgate Cemetery 10 years ago. If your account of those events was all true, then obviously Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge that had happened, or what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting, a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had. So your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model in order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard, I see, as well, or on Dr. Scythe, to be precise. It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Osmond turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to employ my services as an engineer. And he happened to have a paper with him, an article on the front page that caught my eye, about the coroner who'd handled that bogus autopsy being appointed ahead of a new forensic team. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan. What a horrid tale. He robbed me of my future, so I wanted to use the man's own wiles against him for revenge, and have that rotten Scotland Yard eating out of my hand at the same time. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I'd had to suffer. What a character. What a character. He's robbed of his life. And so, in spite and bitterness and rage and grief at what could have been, he does all this. Your actions against those who'd ruined your future were justified as revenge, at least to yourself. And the trauma, yeah. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospects, especially for purely selfish gain. And yet, in carrying out your plan, you did exactly that to someone else, didn't you? Did I? Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis, but you had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would forever be branded a failure and a fraud. Wow. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions resulted in exactly the same thing for another perfectly innocent young man. He knows. He absolutely knows. I love how Ryu put him in his place there. Lord Van Zieks, what of Dr. Scythe? An immediate warrant for her arrest has been granted, and she's been reprimanded in custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the upcoming days, along with Mr. Drebber. A most regrettable situation indeed. She's made great contributions to her profession over the years. It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that is a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Harebrain... Oh, yes? It seems there was a great deal more to your experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say you are absolved of all guilt. This whole experience has taught me a great deal, a very great but painful lesson. Oh yeah, he doesn't even have a breakdown. Yeah, he just stands there and accepts his fate. Wow. Okay, see you, Briggs. Me, this dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy. I've been selfish and self-centered above all, and above all, a fool. Professor, I've spent my whole life thinking of nothing but my research. Misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process, I've caused others pain and misery. Others who are far, far greater people than I. No, Professor, that's not true. What? Don't tar yourself with the same brush as Drebber. What happened was his doing and his alone. I love this. This outcome was his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way. Lord Van Zieks, and the derision for which he referred to you earlier, calling you a fool, talentless even. The man has no idea. Oh, I love it. To believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams, that's laudable, not laughable. No one has the right to deride another for such choices. I love it. Oh. Thank you, Barok. That was beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. It is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge of which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections? None from me, my lord. Certainly not. The trial has really made me think, but this is the right decision. It's all been proven methodically and rigorously. I have no misgivings. What's that? He's done, is he? It's all over? I don't know what's become of the yard these days. I don't recognize this place. Very well. In that case, I hereby pronounce the defendant not guilty. Right, antagonist? I imagine that could have very easily been the case. Court is adjourned. And now the aftermath. It's over. That was some trial. Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it? Oh, it is. Congratulations. Mr. Naruhodo, Miss Susato, I'm truly, truly beside myself with gratitude. How can I ever thank you? I'm just glad it's all been cleared up, that you realized you were just caught up in a bad situation. Right now, you know, if I had that research grant money, I'd give the whole lot to you, every penny. Well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so we don't need any financial reward. Your acquittal is more than enough. Oh dear, what can I do? Aha! How about this as a memento? A paper about my hypothesis is inside. Well, that's just as a memento then. Thank you. I've been wondering, Professor, what are you going to do? Oh my, yes, what am I going to do? My hypothesis and my great machine lie in ruins. But still, it's been too long since I was last in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the Great Exhibition while I'm here too, and see if new inspiration hits me.
Chaos.
What a perfectly timed alert. Thank you, Sarah, for the 10 bomb. What the heck? Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs. If you just got gifted one, please say thank you to Sarah for her amazing generosity. Thank you so much, Sarah, for continuously supporting the stream and all that you do and everything. I truly, truly appreciate it. And chaos at the perfect moment. At the perfect moment. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate it eternally, more than you know. Thank you very much. And yeah, Sarah wanted to be the top gifter of February so bad. I guess she is. But we have chaos. True to the alert, we have chaos. I can't allow that. Lord Van Zieks, what are you doing? Barok. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert. Well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. You were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey. You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense. I see. Sorry? Or the defense? Did I just hear that right? I always knew that you had my best interest at heart, don't worry. How about you show me around while I'm here in town? Beautiful. He trusts us. He thinks we're pretty good. It's been a long time since we left university. We have a lot to catch up on. Listen, Albert. Right? Can you believe they were friends in uni, Tompiet? Can you believe this is the same game? In a few days, your acquittal will be made official.
Objection!
When that happens, very based alert. Very based alert. Thank you so much, Kingslayer, for the 500 bits. Thank you very much for all the bits and the objection. The Van Zeek's objection. The beautiful Van Zeek's objection. Thank you so much for the 500 bits, Kingslayer. Towards Yakuza 0? You got it. Thank you very much. You must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you. Does this have to do with the curse? What? From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased your tickets. But no, hold on a minute, Baroque. What about the Great Exhibition? This is the chance of a lifetime. No sightseeing, Albert. Give up on that idea. What is going on? Sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Baroque. Lord Van Zeeks. What's this all about? A necessary precaution. Yes, I think I understand. You do. Well, Iris told me that when you meet Lord Van Zeeks, when you met Lord Van Zeeks at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsume was doing. Yes, that's right. I remember being surprised at the time and thinking it was nice of him. The point is, Mr. Natsume is still alive and well, even though it's been more than 6 months now since he stood trial with the Reaper as the prosecutor. You mean the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas? Wow. Those in the Reaper sites meet their ends days? What is the deal with the curse? Or sometimes months after their acquittal. That's been the pattern. But of course, we know that Mr. Natsume and Gina were both completely innocent. True. And perhaps that governs the Reaper's actions. The truly innocent are spared. Clint? But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend. But, Baroque... Like the mustached Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay. That's why... Yeah, he's completely clueless. That's crazy. I'm packing him off to Germany at once. Right. Does your friendship package get any say? Goodness, was this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zeeks? In court, where people think of him as the Reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless, and yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand him at all. Peel back the layers, sir! Van Zeek's Nen Beast, oh god. It's time to go, Albert. Back to the prison for the time being. Ah, yes, alright. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you so much for everything. Not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Best wishes, Professor Hairbrain. Well, have a good time at work, Horns fan. Thanks for stopping by. I'll check the VOD, have fun. Thank you. Once the dust is settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Anyway, goodbye for now. Now, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes? I thought you'd gone too. We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time? You want to talk with me? I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes. Oh, God. That was strange. For some reason, I didn't get that sense of impending doom as he walked away this time. A date? The enigma Baroque Van Zeeks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes. What? So are you satisfied? You saved a guileless scientist from a great injustice. Oh, God. Yes, I think so. I have chills for some reason. I'm relieved at least that the man's innocence could be proven. I have chills. I don't know why. I'm in a full sweater and sweatpants and I have a blanket over me. I'm relieved that the man's innocence could be proven. Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from. Yes? Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. I imagine you saw me as a pretentious child from an unimportant land who had no business being here. But now I think different. You clearly know our ways, so I would guess that some specific incident led to your thorough dislike of my race. Will you tell me what happened, please? The professor. I thought I'd never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest. He took your brother's life. Clint. My brother was Clint Van Zeeks. 16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens, he was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary. I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be. What a song. I need to add this to my list. This is the Van Zeeks Reminiscence. Okay. He was everything I aspired to be. He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. They were exchange programs between Britain and other nations too, to share knowledge and ideas. That sounds familiar. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan. Oh, if it was 16 years ago, then one of them could have been my father. Of course. I remember Dr. Mikotoba well. I had no idea. I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese. So you've actually met my father. He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work and exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a great impression upon me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened. The investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. And in the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, truly. Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway. So he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed. When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time. In plain sight? Are you aware of political events 10 years ago? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires. A new treaty was being forged, I think. Correct. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions, which is why this particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. Oh my god. If the British public knew the identity of the killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our 2 nations could very well have ended up at war. What? A war between Britain and Japan? But that would mean... Oh my, you mean to say the professor was... He's walking!
When the trial reached
What?
its conclusion earlier, I thought to myself, yes, it's time.
Oh my god!
Time for you to come face to face with this hideous monster. I borrowed the key for the mask from the proprietress of the Waxwork Museum. So see for yourselves now. Confirm it with your own eyes. The truth that's been hidden this past decade.
Oh my god.
That's the professor?
Yes, that's him.
Until now, the thought never even crossed my mind. That the mass murderer, whose crimes shook Britain as never before, was Japanese.
Wait a minute. That face.
Ryu like that?
I feel as though I've seen it somewhere. It's strangely familiar.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Father.
Oh. Oh shit.
What? Father? Kazuma!
The music! Oh my god. Oh.
Friend, Kazuma Asogi.
They were best friends.
After a whole year, finally his memories returned.
It's not all positive, but oh, look at him. Oh, his hair swaying. Oh my god.
As he stood there before me. Ryunosuke.
Oh my god.
Hello again.
The expression.
My friend.
Kazuma-sama!
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. It's been a very long road. Thank you. Thank you for guiding my friend here when I could not.
It was an honor.
I knew you wouldn't die that easily. Kazuma. I owe you thanks, too.
Oh, it's definitely Sarah.
For taking good care of that in my absence. Oh.
The sword!
Karuma, the great blade of the Asogi clan, passed down through the generations. When we left Japan, this sword was at my friend's side. The Japanese man's katana is his soul, and he couldn't be parted from it. But then, when the incident happened, it was Susato-san's wish that I inherit the sword, and I've kept it with me ever since, along with my memories of the friendship we shared.
The voice acting is wonderful.
With this by my side, I always felt that you were watching over me somehow.
It was his Kazuma, almost like a substitute, not really a substitute, but he needed it with him to feel empowered and strengthened and feel like he could believe in himself in the way that Kazuma did. He wouldn't have been able to do it without it. And the nature of the soul, how it ties in with that.
I've made it. At last.
Father. Are you saying... Surely not. You mean... You knew all this time? I'm looking at it. But... I still can't believe it. This mass murderer is Kazuma's father.
The shaking of the sword.
Kazuma-sama.
Ryunosuke,
Madame Tispel's not going to be happy about that one.
we have much to talk about. But now is not the time.
Of course it isn't. You stupid gay man.
I'll be seeing you.
Why are you leaving?
All Kazuma said.
That's all he said. Oh my god. No, no, Sarah.
Before he turned and left us there, in the courtroom.
I was trying to think of a word to describe him, and all I could come up with was man. Why are you leaving? So he's the living afterimage of the man who took my brother's life, is he? Yeah, Van Zeek's is just like, whoa, damn. Kazuma Sogi, my best friend. 3 months ago when Lord Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there, some connection. But why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zeek's apprentice? There's still so many questions. And when he was suffering amnesia, too. And, like, how did he survive? The man was apprehended, even executed, but his legacy just won't die. That's the sad truth. That's all I had to say. Thank you for meeting with me as I asked. Oh yeah, Van Zeeks probably didn't even understand it. This case, man, 10 years ago, my grandmother took me to the railway station. We were there to meet my father from the train. For me, it was the first time I'd ever seen him. Poor Susato-san. All of this is tied up with painful memories for her, too. She's never talked about this with me either, before, though. It took time to adjust to having father around, but just when I was starting to get used to it, he called me into his office one day. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London, and that the friend had left behind a son, a boy 7 years my senior. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father. So he was studying to become a defense lawyer. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial assistant. As I'm sure you've worked out, that young man's name was Kazuma Asogi. So you see, that's how he and I met.
For a brief moment, my great friend had returned, only to disappear again all too soon. But in that fleeting encounter, something stirred. Something that had been dormant for a long time.
What's that? What stirred within you, Ryu?
As if great wheels had been set in motion. I could almost hear them creaking into life. In some ways, it was the end of a chapter, but in many, it was the start of a new one.
Ryu's big into the metaphor game. Wow. Okay. I'm overwhelmed. I'm extremely overwhelmed. I can't do like 5 hours today. That was too much. Like, I am exhausted. That was amazing. That was an amazing case. But as a question, do you guys think I should start, like, just do the opening cutscene of the fourth case, or just leave it here and start the next stream with the fourth case? No? Just stop here? Okay. Yeah, I can't. I wish I could go longer, but honestly, I'm very overwhelmed. That was amazing. That was great. No music for the starting screen? We'll do the menu music. We'll do the menu music. Yep. We'll be back Monday. Again, we have Great Ace Attorney twice a week now, so we'll be delving into the truth much quicker. That was amazing. I'm so glad you guys, because there are a couple in chat, like Sarah in particular, who haven't seen this story before. They're experiencing it for the first time along with me. And so, like, Sarah was freaking out there, I saw in chat. Lots of people who've watched it were freaking out. I think there were a couple more who haven't watched it. Big Briggs as well, yep. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed. We'll see, Remuki. We'll see what we do. And Santi too, yep. 2-4 has some of the best things in this game and some of the worst, but the highs are crazy. Cool. Well, you got cooking for Friday. So the stream schedule will be Monday is Great Ace Attorney as always. Wednesday, Great Ace Attorney as well. But before that, so like that's next week's plan. We're going to continue like that. Before that, Friday we have a One Piece read. We're going to finish Sabaudi Archipelago, or at least try. Sunday, we'll have the usual Vinland Saga One Piece as well. We're going to raid Hannah, though, today. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Chat was going crazy right at the end there. As you can probably tell, Kazuma's my top one, based to hell and back. We're going to raid Hannah here, though. She is playing Amori. So we're going to be doing that. One sec. There we go. Shomes is a little silly. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I love that case. That case was amazing. Enoch is amazing. I need to adjust that's going to be a huge bearing on my rankings later, but we'll do that at the end of the game as well. Like, it's just fresh. Obviously, I have no thoughts on that. Kazuma, Van Zeeks. Oh, it's so good. See you guys later. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. And I'll see you Friday.